Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to welcome each and every one of you to the WebWrap 1.0 presented by the IEEE Computer Society of SLIIT. We are thrilled to have you all here for our third session on earning through web hosting. I am 𝗵𝗔𝐺 𝗪𝗏 and I'll be your host for this evening. Today, our main goal is to spark your interest about earning through web hosting. In today's session, we'll cover about how to host your websites, manage domains, and deploy your projects, and how to earn an income through a hosted web service, and many other ways, which will mark the end of our session series in web development. I encourage you to actively participate, ask questions, and engage with our speaker and fellow participants. Now, it's my privilege to introduce our speaker, Mr. Ashen Vijayasinghe, Cybersecurity Intern at 𝗏𝐺, full-stack software developer and former Vice President of the Software Engineering Students Community. Welcome, Mr. Ashen. The stage is yours.
Okay, so hi, I'm Ashen Vijayasinghe from 𝗏𝐺. So today we are going to talk about the web hosting and monetization. So let me share my screen. I think hope you guys can see my screen, right? Is it visible?
Yeah, we can see.
Or just okay. For more about myself, as I previously said, I'm Ashen Vijayasinghe and I am a fourth year undergraduate at SLIIT. Also, I'm doing another degree program at UCSC. So if you want to know more about me, then you guys can search me on Google as well as LinkedIn. So let's talk about my agenda for today. So, okay, so this is our agenda for today. So first, I'm going to talk about the web hosting basics, and then I'm going to move on to the front-end hosting, and then to the back-end hosting, as well as the WordPress hosting. So the sixth topic is the monetization strategies, and finally, I'm going to give you some answers for your questions. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so the main objective of the session is the understanding the web hosting types, and the main thing is the learning front end and back end and what is hosting. So there are three different things, and also exploring WordPress hosting, and finally we are going to discover monetization strategies. Okay, so moving on. So what is web hosting? So as you guys know, web hosting is the service that provides the infrastructure and technology for individuals and organizations to make their websites accessible on the internet. So basically, we can host our front-end websites as well as our back-end websites, also the WordPress websites. So basically, almost every hosting service is doing the same thing. The important is the web hosting is essential for any online presence, as it ensures your website is available and visible to your target audience on the World Wide Web, which is www. Okay. Okay, so let's move on. Okay. So these are the types of web hosting. So the first one is the shared hosting, and the second one is the virtual private service, which is called VPS hosting, and the third one is the dedicated hosting. So we can easily build our own server and create a dedicated hosting service for our own application. So that is called dedicated hosting. And the final one is the cloud hosting. So as an example, I can give you guys like for the cloud hosting, we can use the AWS, Azure, or the Google Cloud as well. Okay, let's move on. So there are some kind of pros and cons of each type. So the first thing is when we consider about the shared hosting, it is very cost effective, but the thing is the limited resources are the main issue, and also it is ideal for small websites with moderated traffic. Okay, so let's move on to VPS hosting. The VPS hosting are virtual private servers. So the thing is we can upgrade our virtual private servers as we want. Okay, so the next thing is the dedicated hosting. As I previously mentioned, we can implement our own servers and host our own applications. So it is full control and high performance because we can implement our own specifications according to our need. So the final one is cloud hosting, which is very scalable. So at any time, if you want to scale your servers or your RAMs or storages, so you guys can scale it up and down as you need. Okay. So this is very important, choosing the right web hosting. So first of all, when you guys going to host a web application, you have to identify what are your budgets and the access web traffics and evaluate technical expertise according to a web site, which is called built-in technologies. Like so, I think you guys know. So there are so many programming languages in this world. So we can develop a web application using those languages and tech stacks. So we have to think before the hosting. Like so the thing is, as an example, we can build a simple website using what it called HTML, CSS, JavaScript, likewise. So and the major thing is to prioritize the scalability. So if you guys gonna host a backend application, so maybe you guys need to scale up and down those applications. So first of all, you guys have to think about these four topics before the hosting. Okay, so let's talk about what is front-end hosting. So basically, the front-end hosting is the service that delivers the static web content like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to users. So the use case is the front-end hosting is ideal for websites where the content does not require dynamic updates or server-side processing. So what is dynamic updates? So I think you guys know there are some sort of applications that we have to input our data and we have to upload our files or our documents into those applications. So those kind of web applications need to do some sort of a backend processing. So apart from that, if we consider about only the front-end part, those websites we can consider as the front-end websites. So if we are going to host that kind of a website, so we need to use some sort of separate hosting services. The main advantage of the front-end hosting is the offers faster load time and improved security, because there is no need to worry about our data and privacy related things, and the reduced server resources compared to hosting dynamic content. Okay, let's move on. So this is a complete static web page that I have built within my university period. So let's take a look about it. So I have so this is the web page. So I have developed this complete web page using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So let's take a little look. Actually, I have improved this, and the main thing is I have developed this complete web page like a terminal, because I like to work in terminal. That's the thing. So as an example, if I'm going to import like this, it is going to represent the detail that I have input for this web page. Okay, so this is a complete static web page, so there is no backend, and I have host this web page in Hostinger. So this is the what it called the URL. Okay, let's move on to the popular fronting. Okay, let's talk about the popular front-end hosting providers. So basically, you guys can host your front-end applications and front-end web pages using Netlify, 𝘂𝑟𝑠𝑒𝑙, and GitHub. So these are the most popular what it called front-end hosting providers in nowadays. Okay. Also, this is a complete web page that I have hosted in a GitHub pages. So as you guys see here, there is a domain called right here, the 𝗔𝘀𝗵𝗏𝗧, so which is provided from the GitHub. So this is a sample web page that I have built for my portfolio. So this is also a complete front-end application, so there is no any backend in this application. Let's move on to the next slide. Sorry. Okay, so these are some sort of front-end hosted. Okay, these are some sort of hosting service providers that we can host our front-end applications. So the first one is Netlify. So this is the Netlify web page. So you guys can check more about it using Google and so on. So this is Netlify. So it is completely free. So you guys can host your front-end applications using this hosting service or the 𝘵𝘂𝘐. So this is also good. So this is the 𝘵𝘂𝘐 web page. Let me check again. Okay, so this is 𝘵𝘂𝘐. So I think 𝘍𝑒𝑘𝑎 is blocking the iframe. Okay, so this is the GitHub pages. So you guys can freely host your static web pages using GitHub like this. So that's the way I have implemented and hosted my static web pages that I have previously showed to you guys. And this is the final one, the 𝑣𝑒𝑐4 app. This is also free. So you guys can host your front-end applications using this hosting service provider. Sorry. Okay, let's move on to the deployment process. So basically, when we are hosting sort of application, so we have to follow some sort of procedure. So first of all, we have to connect our repository or a source file location to store our application or the web page documents and all the files. So then we have to set the build commands for each and all hosting service. So if you guys using GitHub pages, then you guys don't need to implement all those things. So they are providing all the stuff throughout their platform. The final one is deploying site. So when you guys developing a front-end application, so the most important thing is you guys have to develop it as a responsive, which is you guys have to develop the application that gonna perfectly fit for the mobile devices as well as laptop devices as well as the desktop devices. So that's very important. Okay, let's move on to my next slide. What are the best practices for front-end hosting? So the first one is the minify CSS and JavaScript. So basically, when we are developing a website, we can implement our whole CSS and JavaScript, and it takes some sort of storage. Like if it take some sort of like a concernable level of amount, the thing is like if you guys developing a web page, so you have to implement all those integrations using CSS and JavaScript, and make sure to make it as much as smaller, so it will help to load the web page more speedily. So the next thing is the CDN, which is Content Delivery Network. So I think you guys not heard about it yet. The thing is like it is a network of servers. The main thing is okay. So about CDN, so they are caching static assets on servers worldwide and reduce latency and improves their user experience. So which means like as an example, if you think you are developing a front-end app application and it have some sort of images, videos, and those contents. So if you have used the CDN, it will automatically detect where the user from. Like so there are so many servers all around the world. So they have created so many instances in each and every server all around the world. So in CDN, they are going to detect the user's location, and they will provide the static content from the nearest server. So it will reduce the latency from the loading the web page and all those stuff. So the final one is implementing cache. So you guys have to take care about your cache in your browser. So the thing is leverage browsing cache and the server-side cache and the cache invalidation to boost performance and reduce hosting costs. So it will make, it will improve the complete web application performance. Okay.
Hello.
Okay. Is it all good? Hello. Okay, I move on. So let's talk about what is backend hosting. So there are three types of backend hosting types. So, and the first one is the server-side operation. The second one is okay. The second one is the database interaction, and the final one is the application logic. So if you guys developing a backend application, you have to consider all those three things simultaneously, so which will help you to load your backend applications more accurately. And yeah, let's move on to next slide. So these are the popular backend hosting providers. The first one is 𝘍𝘁, and second one is AWS, which is also a cloud platform. And the third one is DigitalOcean. So you guys can use these services to host your backend hosting provider. Sorry. Okay, move on to next slide. So you guys can use all those hosting providers to host your backend services. So these are some sort of site. So the first one is as well as 𝘍𝘁, and the second one is AWS, and third one is Azure. Also, you guys can use Azure, and hope you guys are undergraduates, so you guys can use the Azure credits. The fourth one is DigitalOcean, and the second one is the Render, and the final one is the Cloudflare Workers. So in here, you guys can see the 𝘍𝘁 web page. So you guys can search more about it using Google. So these are the backend languages that they are supporting right now. Hope you guys can see Node.js, Ruby, Java, PHP, Python, Go, Scala, and I don't know what the language, the final language is. So this is AWS. Hope you guys know about it. And if you don't, you guys can search more about it using Google as well as YouTube. So there are so many tutorials and related stuff right there. Okay, this is Azure. It's provided from Microsoft. So the thing is, Azure is comparatively a high-cost platform, and this is DigitalOcean. So you guys can also host your backend applications in this platform as well. So this is their dashboard. So you guys can easily manage your backend services using this platform. Okay, so this is Render. So this is very good for your Node.js applications. Oh, sorry. Let me show you right here, like in a separate web page. So this is Render. So you guys can host your Node.js, React applications, JavaScript related things, Python applications, and also if you have any sort of applications that you have implemented and stored in Docker, you guys can use that as well. So Vue.js, Golang, Angular, and all those languages are supported through this platform. Okay, let's move on to my slideshow again. Okay. Just a second. Okay. So the final one is Cloudflare. Wait, actually. Okay, so the final one is the Cloudflare Workers. So this is also a good platform that you guys can use. Also, they support the terminal-based complete development as well. So you guys can integrate all those things into your application. I think you guys can see right. Okay, so I think you guys can see right here. So this is an NPM package. So you guys can completely integrate your application through your terminal as well. Okay, move on to the next slide. So this is the deployment process. When we consider about our backend applications, we have to more concerned about our deployment process. So the first one is to set up our server, and the second one is the deploy code, and third one is the configure environment. So let's move on. So these are the best practices for the backend hosting. So the first one is the regularized, the first one is the regularly update software, which means you have to apply your patches and updates concurrently. So it will make your application more stable and more accurate. So the second one is use environment variables, also use secrets. So this is very important for your applications, because if we are developing a backend application, we have to store some sort of secret keys and database access URLs, like the kind of stuff. So you guys have to store all those variables in environment variables, as well as you guys can keep those secrets as a secret in GitHub as well. Also, you guys can use some sort of platform like Vault, and so there are so many more. The final one, very important one, is the implement security measures. So the important thing is when you guys are hosting a backend application, so you guys have to concern more about the SSL certification and TLS certification and encryption and the firewall configurations. So hope you guys can find all those things through Google, or if you don't, so just okay. The thing is, if you guys can find all those things on Google, so if you don't, you guys can just put me a message and I'll help you guys throughout the project or the deployment process. So the next one is the WordPress. So optimized for WordPress, like apart from the front end and back end hosting, this is very lightweight platform. So you guys can implement your web application using WordPress. So it is very easy to use, and all the things you can implement and use in this platform using plugins, and you can develop your own app. What it calls the complete application using the WordPress platform, and it is very easy as well. The most important one is you can tailor your configuration according to your need. Okay, so these are the types of WordPress hosting. So the first one is the shared WordPress. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so these are the types of WordPress hosting, and the first one is the shared WordPress hosting, and the second one is the managed WordPress hosting, and the third one is the dedicated WordPress hosting. So there are three types of hosting services for this WordPress platform. So you guys can mostly use the shared WordPress hosting platforms like hosting and related hosting providers to manage your WordPress website. Okay, so these are the most popular WordPress hosting providers. So the first one is the Bluehost, so which is also recommended from the WordPress organization. Also, this is very easy to use. Site and management tools are included. So the second one is the SiteGround. So you guys can use this hosting provider to host your WordPress application. The third one is WP Engine. It's also a very lightweight platform. And the fourth one is the Hostinger. It is very easy to use, and also Hostinger provide a complete what it called a web application building tool as well. So moving on to the next slide. So this is the first hosting called Bluehost. Okay, so they guys are currently blocking this iframe. Okay, so this is the Bluehost platform. So in here you guys can see the all things related to your WordPress deployment, as well as these are the packages. Okay, moving on to this. So the second one is the SiteGround. You guys can host your WordPress application through this as well. So it's starting from $3.99 per month. Okay, this is not a paid promotion. So you guys can use this as well. Okay, the second one is, sorry, the third one is WP Engine. So you guys can host your WordPress application using this as well. So this is the other page, so you guys can go through, and I will share this complete site deck after this complete session. So the final one is Hostinger. So in here you guys can use this platform as well. So let me show you the WordPress what it called. So actually the thing is they have a complete website builder inside Hostinger. So it is very lightweight, and you guys can use it easily. Okay, so let me show you. Hope you have some time. So okay, so this is my Hostinger hosting platform. Then I have two business web hosting services, and these are some sort of my applications. Okay, let's take a look about okay, this one. This is all of my domains, and let's move on to my websites. Okay, so these are some sort of WordPress applications, and this is also a WordPress application. So this is a WordPress application admin panel. Okay, so this is the web page, and this is the admin panel. So you guys can apply all those plugins and those details as you guys needed. So in here you can manage your themes and all those stuff. So you guys can add a theme according to your need and completely develop this. Also, there are some sort of ways like this website, which is called the 𝗪𝘅𝘆𝑏𝑒auty.com. So this is the one that I have mentioned. So this application development platform completely provided from the hosting platform. So this is it. So this is called website builder, and it is very lightweight and easy to use. So you guys can develop this web application within few minutes, also using some AI tools as well. So this is very lightweight, and this complete website that I have developed got around 6 hours to develop the complete application throughout this platform. Also, you guys can implement what it called a complete WooCommerce application inside this as well. Okay, let's move on to my next slide. Okay, sorry. I am really sorry about my bad health. Okay, so this is about the setting WordPress site. So the first one is you have to choose a hosting provider. So then you have to install WordPress. So some sort of hosting providers provided the complete WordPress installation for free. Otherwise, you have to take care about it as well. The third one is selecting a theme according to your project. So the final one is adding plugins like WooCommerce and those plugins, so you guys can manage all those related stuff throughout those plugins. Moving to the next slide. Okay, so let's talk about the monetization, which is the way we can earn money throughout our web applications. Okay, so first one is ad revenue. So you guys can earn throughout these platforms. Okay, so the first one is the Google AdSense. So you guys can create an account, and you have to eligible for this as well. So the second one is the media.net, which is provided from Yahoo, as far as I think, like yeah, hope I remember. As the third one is the strategic placements. Okay, let's move on. So the first one is Google AdSense. So you guys can earn money throughout this application, throughout this platform. So you have to eligible for this, and the first step is sign up, and second step is take control, and third is start earning. So take control means tell AdSense where and how ads appear on your site. So Google AI helps tailor layouts and maximize earning from there. So in here, if you have developed a website about medicines, so they are going to analyze your website and gonna show some ads related to medicines. So that's how it works. So this is the way. So these are some sort of sample ads for a website. So you guys can customize and add as much as you want. Okay, so this is some sort of things. So you guys can go through this web page and know more about it. So this is MediaNet. As far as I remember, this is provided from the Yahoo network. Let's see, I'm not sure. Okay, so this is also a same kind of application like Google AdSense. So you guys can use this as well. Okay, so there are two types of ads. Actually there are three types of ads. So the first one is the contextual ads, the second one is the display ads, and the third one is native ads, which are going to pop up in your web applications. Okay, so you guys can use these to earn throughout your web applications. Okay, so let's talk about the affiliate marketing. So Okay, so when it comes to affiliate marketing, there are some sort of platforms. So there are three types of affiliate marketing. So the first one is the leverage platforms, and the second one is the curate relevant products, and the actually there are three ways of doing affiliate marketing. So the first one is the leverage platforms, and the second one is the curate relevant products, and the third way is the create compelling content. So when it comes to the first type, the most popular way is the Amazon Associate. So in here you guys can affiliate the Amazon products throughout the web application. Also there are a same platform called Share a Sale as well. So you guys can go through those websites and know more about it and use this in your project. So the second one is the curate relevant products. Like if you guys are talking about computer related things throughout the web page, so you guys have to sell what it called relevant products in your website as well. That it called the curate the relevant products, and third way is to create compelling content. So in your web applications, you have to take some sort of traffic to earn throughout this web application. So you have to develop very informative, engaging content to attract those users. So it's also very important. Now let's move on to the next slide. So the third one is the selling products and services. So you guys can do this in two ways. The first one is e-commerce platforms. The most common examples are the Shopify and WooCommerce. So you guys using WordPress, you guys can use the WooCommerce. So also in Shopify, you guys can you guys can create a separate web application as well throughout that platform as well. The second way is the digital products. So you guys can sell ebooks, online courses, and softwares throughout the web application. But the thing is, first of all, you have to get permission throughout the vendors to sell all those products in your web application. So in these two ways as well, you can use to earn some sort of money. Okay. The next one is the memberships and subscription models. So you guys can create content like YouTube videos, and you guys can create a subscription for Patreon likewise. So this is called the exclusive content. The second way is the community building. So you guys can create some sort of a unique product or unique content, and then you guys can create a community building. As an example, you guys can see there are some sort of 𝗏𝐼 YouTube channel. In there are some sort of fan base. So they are building a community, as well as in 𝗏𝑆. So they guys are selling some sort of merchandises and as well. Okay. In the next thing is the which is called the tiered memberships. So you guys can provide your services according to your users' needs. So you guys can create some sort of tiers like free, premium, gold, likewise, and provide services related to them. Okay. The next thing is the sponsored content. So you guys can take some sponsorships, and you guys can promote all those products in your web application as well. So in this way as well, you guys can earn some money. There are three very important topics. The first one is the transparency. So you guys have to clearly disclose when content is sponsored to maintain trust with your audience. So if you guys are selling medicine, so you guys have to be complete clear about those things and very disclose about their medicines and products. So that is called the transparency. The second one is alignment. So when you are choosing brands and products, so that genuinely align with the website's focus and your audience interest. So it's also very important. The third one is relevance. So if you want to sell something, you have to sell the relevant things. Like if you want to talk more about computer related things throughout the web page, so you guys can't sell medicines and sportwears in that web application. So you guys have to talk about the computer related things throughout the web application, and you guys can sell related products in this application. Okay, so moving on to the next slide. So these are the emerging trends and opportunities. So the first one is the rise of AI and automation. So in nowadays, you guys can develop a complete web application using AI tools like ChatGPT, Claude AI, likewise. So it is very easy nowadays, and you guys can develop a complete web application in few steps. So the second one is increasing cybersecurity demands. So you guys can create very secure applications for the which is called community standards. And the third one is niche market opportunities. So which is you guys can provide some sort of identified and catering and underserved specialized markets can help businesses stand out and build a loyal customer base, like which means like you can create some sort of a unique base throughout these applications as well. As an example, you guys can consider Carnage, likewise things. So the fourth one is the personalized services. So you guys can sell a personalized service or products throughout these web pages. And so these are the emerging trends and opportunities in right now. So moving on to the next slide. So if you have any questions, you guys can ask now. Otherwise, I'm going to show some basic web application development, and I'm going to host that complete web application in GitHub pages. So if you guys have any questions, you guys can drop those questions in your chat. I mean, in the meeting chat. Okay. So where's the moderator? I can't find you right now. Okay.
Now it's time for Q&A. Please ask your questions in the chat section or unmute your microphones.
Okay, so the thing is, you guys can ask your questions in any language, but I'm only know about English and Sinhala, so I don't know about Tamil. So you guys can ask in any language. So I'll provide answers. Is there any questions? Seems like there is no questions, or else you guys can place a chat and ask questions. If anything related that you want to know, or am I doing this session in very speed manner, or I have to be slowed down, or if you have any previous topics that I have to be cleared out, so you can ask right now. Or else, yeah, sure, you are able to.
I want to know how do you ensure that your JavaScript code is not functional but also optimized for performance and maintainability?
Sorry, like.
So how do you ensure that your JavaScript code is not only functional but also optimized for performance and maintainability?
Yeah, sure. So when we consider about JavaScript, we can use the pure JavaScript, as well as there are so many JavaScript frameworks like React and those stuff. So when you are using that kind of framework, so you guys can optimize your web applications. Like in React, you guys can develop your complete front-end web application in component likewise ways. So in that way, you guys can optimize your web application. Like as an example, if you are developing a web application using JavaScript, so you guys can develop the complete web application using pure JavaScript. So in that way, if you are going to develop 10 web pages, as an example, consider that you are going to develop a navigation bar. So if you are using the pure JavaScript, then you have to implement the what it called navigation bar in what it called all of your pages, right? So if you are using that sort of framework like React, so then you have to implement your navigation bar in one time. Then you have, then you can reuse the navigation bar according to your need. So it's very easy. And also there is a similar framework called 𝗏𝘕. So in that framework as well, so they are providing very speed installation process as well. So yeah, so I think that's the best way. So you guys can develop your web application using JavaScript, and also you guys can apply some sort of like a tech stack, or you guys can maintain a complete project orientation, like how can I say, මෙහෙම කියන්න දැන් ඔය හිතනවා project එක develop කරනවා ඔයාට පුළුවන් like කොහොමද කියන්නේ folders වලට වෙන වෙනම කඩලා දෙන්න. example එකක් දෙන්න ඕන JavaScript application එකනේ ඕනේ. හරි. I think you guys can see my screen. Okay, duplicate it. Okay, so this is my GitHub account. Hope you guys can see my screen. So as an example, JavaScript one. Okay, so this is a sample React code application. Hope I have implemented the whole backend, front end within it. Yeah, so as you guys can see here, there are some files. So this is called index.js, so which is going to load in the first time in the web application loading time. So this is called app.js, which is going to include our all routes related to a web application. So in here you guys can see there is a component folder. So in here I have implemented a separate JavaScript file for separate functions. So this is for create customer, and this is for create student, and this is for create which is called customer list, and also this is for edit customers, and this is for edit students, and this is for edit student list. So when I click on it, so this is the create customer JavaScript part. So in here you can see the basic functionalities, and this is the UI component that I have built toward that component. So hope you guys can understand basic HTML code snippets. So in here you guys can see a div function. So when I'm going to route through the create customer scenario, it will going to load this complete JavaScript code. So we can see this UI throughout that scenario. So that's the way. So in this way, you guys can optimize your JavaScript code using a framework like React, or which is called the Vue.js or White.js or likewise. So if you are considering about the front end, then you guys can use those frameworks. So if you guys going to consider about the back end, you guys can use the Express.js as well. So there are so many tech stacks right now. Also there is a framework called which is called the PyScript, which is a combination of the Python and JavaScript. So yeah, so there are so many things that we can talk about all those topics. So next question, I think you got some idea about it. If you have any further questions, you guys can reach out to me through my WhatsApp number or my email, or also you guys can reach out to me through the LinkedIn as well. Okay, any questions?
Yes,
Yes,
is
sure.
there any ways to find highly paying affiliate programs?
Highly paying affiliate programs. Yeah. So in right now, Google AdSense is paying some quite way. So the best way is like you guys can create a Shopify application and a Shopify web page, and you guys can sell your own product. So most of my friends are doing that thing in nowadays. So they are developing some sort of unique designs through AI, and they are adding those styles and designs into t-shirts and those types of stuffs, and they are selling those products in Shopify. So in that way, they earn a considerable amount of money within a considerable period. So in my personal opinion, go for Shopify, or else you guys can develop complete WooCommerce application using WordPress and sell your products. Okay, there is another question, Mali. Is it clear, or do I need to explain more?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so there is another question in the chat area. I have seen in some websites there are security concerns where they ask for proceed anyway. Some old websites, is that because they are checking security through the web hosting providers, or are there any ways to check it? Yeah, the most probably when we are browsing through internet, so when we are when we are going to a web page, so basically in our browsers they are going to check for the security certifications, which is called SSL, TSL likewise. So I think you guys can see my screen. So in here, so I'm using the Brave browser because it's basically blocking all that's in YouTube, so that's why I'm using Brave. So in here you guys can see all the cookies details as well as the connection is secure or not. So in here you guys can check for your certification. Are they valid or they are expired, right? So this is the validation period, and this is the expiration date for the certification. Okay, so you guys can see all those certification details right here. Okay, so this is the 𝑠ha256 fingerprint, and this is the hash key value. So you guys can check whether these certification are valid or not. So if you guys, okay, let's talk about like, so if you are hosting a web application and you want to get SSL certification for free, right? So in that case, you guys can use the Cloudflare, which is a free platform. Wait, I go. Yeah. So this is Cloudflare dashboard. So in here, you guys can get a free SSL certification for your domain. So in that case, you guys can save a considerable amount of money that we have to spend for SSL certification. So, okay. So actually I am visiting this website after so many times. So this is also one of my previous projects. So in here you guys can see my SSL certification. So this is completely free. So for this application, so let me show you the application, which is DJDNS. So also this application is still under development. So this is a taxi company based on USA, so that I have built this complete website for them according to their need. So this is what they wanted, so I have developed this website. So in GitHub, the best thing is I have hosted this complete web page in GitHub in a GitHub repository. Let me go through my organization. So this is my personal startup, which is back in 98. So in here, you guys can see DJDNS file. This is it, right? So this is the repository. So also I would like to mention that please maintain your documentation, so it will help for the future development as well. So as you guys can see here, I have hosted this complete website in a GitHub repository. So this is the GitHub web pages domain address. So it will automatically redirect to the domain that I have brought for this application. So in here, in this platform, you can see that I have added the teacherdns.com URL to this repository. So in that way, I can completely redirect my GitHub web page into that separate what it called URL. Yeah, so that's the way. Also, there is some sort of way, like if you guys talk about, like I don't know, gonna work or not. Robots.txt. Okay, this is not gonna work for GitHub because I'm hosted this in GitHub. So let's talk about like 𝗏𝘪𝘗𝐻𝐼 Hotel. Actually, this is a part of cybersecurity related stuff. So I think it's very common. Hope you guys know. So when we at robots.txt, yeah. So in here you guys can see. I think you guys can see my screen. So there are some sort of disallow URL. So you guys can see right here. The 𝗏𝘪𝘗𝐻𝐼.lk website is completely a WordPress website. So in this way, you guys can log into it. This is only for educational purposes only. So don't mess it up. Let's say like WPFE. So this is not gonna visible. Okay. So they have blocked this. So then I'm going to try the next URL. Okay, so this is a honeypot, I think. We'll see. Okay, so it will gonna trigger the alert system, which will gonna block my IP address for their website. So that's how we can what it called. The thing is, like, we can protect our website using these kind of honeypots. So this is a kind of a security measure. Yeah, that's it. So okay, this is all about robots.txt, and it's very easy to find our subdomains and allowed and disallowed subdomains for a particular URL using this way. Using robot.txt. Yeah. Okay. Hope constrict got your answer. Okay. Can you briefly tell about Firebase hosting? Yeah, sure. So there's a separate way. Actually, I think there is Aditya in this meeting. So for IEEE Extreme, we have built and hosted our complete web application in Firebase, Firebase and GitHub. Okay, so in here we can use the Firebase hosting. Yeah, there are so many tutorials about Firebase hosting, so you guys can create a project and start your hosting right here. So this is for NPM projects. So you guys can integrate your Firebase tools into your Node.js project throughout this way. And yeah, so this is all about the documentation part for the Firebase hosting. So in this way, you guys can completely host your web application in Firebase as well. Yeah, so if you have any questions, like if you want to host your application in Firebase, then you got any problem, so you guys can reach out to me throughout my personal number or my email address or what it called LinkedIn account. So in that way, I can provide you a solution or a guidance to do your project. And yeah, hope you got your answer. Okay, so can you explain the role of CI/CD pipelines in web hosting and how they involve with deployment process? Yeah, sure. Okay. So when we consider about CI/CD, which is called continuous integration and continuous development. So basically, I have done those stuff in my previous internship at 𝗫𝐿. So for a particular project, we can use CI/CD pipelines like we can implement our CI/CD pipelines through various tools like Jenkins. So in the easiest way is you guys can use the GitHub CI/CD pipeline. Let me show you. Okay. Actually, there are so many projects right now. Okay. So this is a complete website for our research project. So this is not a complete one, but we have developed it. So in here, you guys can see the GitHub Actions, which is the complete same way for CI/CD development. So, so your question is, can you explain the role of CI/CD pipelines in web hosting and how they involve with deployment process? Yeah. So the continuous integrations means continuously integrate your updated stable version to your live state of your product. And continuous deployment is deploy your web application without dropping your web application. Like so, as an example, if you okay, let's talk about like this. So if you can consider about a bank application, so it is very high risk application. Like there are so many concurrent users are using that web application. So if we are developing that kind of application, we cannot call the undrop or like, so we cannot make it offline for a particular minutes. So we have to keep the complete application online and also doing the latest integrations and update the application in concurrent time. So in order to do that, we can use CI/CD pipelines as well as some sort of like actually it's a very huge topic related to cloud computing and also for DevOps. So it's actually there are so many things that we can talk about those things. So basically for CI/CD pipeline is continuous integration and continuous development. Sorry, CI/CD means what it called the continuous integration and continuous deployment. So deployment means you guys develop application going to deploy to the hosting platform. So that's it. And I can't more specific about it. So it's a very simple thing, but I can't demonstrate it right now. So yeah, as an example, in here you guys can see the deployment. And so this is the deployed web page. It's not a very good web page, and it's under construction. Okay. Okay, let's talk about a separate web page like. Okay, I got one. Okay, there is a simple web page that I have built for 𝗪𝘠𝗪𝘠.com, and in here I have developed the terminal application, which I have showed you before. So this is the landing page. So this is a very simple web page. So in here also I haven't applied the SSL certification. So in here you guys can see the GitHub Actions. So these are the complete process that I have implemented and deployed my web application to the GitHub pages. So as you guys can see here, it happened in 6 months ago. So this is my commit message, and that's it. So each and every time I am going to develop this repository. This is the 𝗪𝘠𝗪𝗠.98.github.io. So if I am going to change this application, like yeah, let me change something. Then I can show you the CI/CD workflow. Just okay, I'm gonna commit this. Update it. Okay. So I committed. So it will automatically trigger the GitHub Actions. So you guys can see right here, right? So this is for building the web page, and this is for the README file. So this is also in the main branch in this repository. So you guys can see right here. Okay, in these GitHub actions, you guys can see more about it like this. So it is completely deployed, and also you can see about more annotations and those things. And this is the bug profile. So it is the complete explanation about the process in the CI/CD. So the thing is, it is very similar to the Jenkins as well. Okay, so this is my deployment name, and in here I have added a constraint. So when I'm pushing any changes to the main branch, it will gonna automatically trigger this CI/CD pipeline. So it will gonna need the permission for content read and page write and ID tokens write. So like this. So this is okay. So these are the jobs. So the first one is deploy. Also, I can add some sort of separate jobs as well. Like if you want to create a copy of it, you can add all those commands in right here. Likewise, you guys can manage your CI/CD pipelines. So this is a very small example for CI/CD pipeline. And yeah, if you want to learn more, you guys can just drop me a message after the session, or else you guys can reach out to me through email or via LinkedIn. So I can explain more about it too. I can give you a hand for your projects. Okay, next question. Anything? Any questions? Okay. Oh, that's all. Okay. Is there any alternative ways to get domains, subdomains back if the website is under ethical hackers through web hosting provider? Or how to get it back in brief? Yeah, there are like few ways. Like you guys can request throughout your domain provider. Like if you got your domain through namecheap.com or Hostinger or some sort of a domain provider, so you guys can request throughout their help center, like the chat, what it called, the 24/7 sales support, right? So in that way, you guys can reach out to them and explain your situation and get your domains back to you. So that's the easiest way. Yeah. Also, there are some sort of ways, like I can't explain it right now because there are some sort of a huge process behind those things. So yeah, next question. Anything? Okay, so is that all? So then I'm going to create a simple web page using ChatGPT, and I'm going to host the my the slide deck in that website. Yeah, so is that all? Okay, let's move on to it. Okay, so I have created a repository called hosting and monetization. So I'm going to clone this empty repository into my computer, and then I'm going to create an empty HTML web page. And yeah, okay. So currently I'm in 𝐶ontents folder. Okay, so this is the folder. So I'm going to copy it. Also, if you guys want to know about this terminal as well, hosting monetization. So this is a custom terminal that I have built for myself. If you want to know about it, just drop me a message after this session. Okay, let's move on to it. So there is no pilot right now. Yeah, can you share slides? Yeah, sure. I'll share all the slides after this session. Okay, there is another question. How do different databases architecture like SQL, NoSQL impact the choice of web hosting solutions? there are separate ways. So if you guys developing web application using MERN stack or main stack or something like that, so then you guys choose to use a SQL database or NoSQL database. So there is a huge difference. So in SQL database, you have to input your queries into the database to extract and view and update your database data. So in NoSQL database, it will gonna store as a separate data file for each and every data record. So so the main thing is the NoSQL databases are very lightweight. Also, they are providing their own hosting facilities. Like so, most probably we are using the Firebase as well as what it called the MongoDB likewise, and also there is another database called Azure Cosmos DB, which is providing a database as an API service. So you guys can implement a complete web page without a backend and communicate through that database using API calls. So in that way, you guys can create a front-end application and a backend database and connect all those things using APIs. So it is very easy. So according to your question, it's up to the project and requirements. So yeah, it's up to the projects and requirements. So my personal choice is NoSQL databases, but in particular cases, I have to develop some sort of SQL databases as well. Also, in sometimes I have developed Java MVC architecture related project, and I have integrated the MongoDB to that project as well. Yeah, it's according to your needs, so you guys can customize as you need. Okay, let's move on to the demonstration. Okay, so I'm going to open this folder using the VS Code. Okay, can you explain how the SQL injection works? Yeah, it's something like in some sort of web application, there are text content like text areas, comment sections, in what we call the login interfaces likewise. So in that kind of text areas, we guys can input SQL queries into the text area and extract the data from the database. So that's the way basically how it's work, which is SQL injection works. So I can provide you some sort of YouTube videos and those stuff, but not right now. Okay. Hope you guys can see my screen. Okay. So this is it. I'm going to create the index.js, sorry, index.html. It's a simple web application, website.
Excuse me, the screen
Yeah,
is
sure.
not shared.
Okay. I'm really sorry about that. I thought it is sharing, and yeah, hope you guys can see my screen right now. Okay, so hope you guys didn't see my terminal as well. So this is the things that I had done before. So I first got to the Falcon 98 folder, then I have cloned the Git repository to that folder, and after that so the thing is, after that I have checked for that folder by giving this ls command, and yeah, I have redirected to that folder, and I have opened the so actually after that I have opened the VS Code throughout the terminal, and yeah, I got to this VS Code interface after, and yeah, so I have implemented the GitHub Copilot as well to this platform. So, but right now I'm going to use the ChatGPT for business of my use. Just create a simple HTML page. Okay, sorry. Simple HTML web page. So see, it's very easy. There is nothing to worry about anything. So wait until the font is done, and yeah. Okay, just copy it, comment it, just paste here, and change it as you need. What is the positive? Search. Okay, I have changed the page title. Welcome to my simple web page. Okay. So this is the header. Okay, so let's check about it. So I have implemented a local server to check this website. Okay, this is it. So this is the navigation bar for the web page. So I am going to implement my slide deck into this web page using 𝐻𝐼. So let's see how I can do that. Yeah, it's very easy. So I'm going to enter this code. Go back to the VS Code and just paste it right here. Okay, paste in this item. So in here you guys can see how this should be loaded right now. Okay. So I have created my complete site deck using Canva application. Okay, so this is my slide deck. I can resize it. With this 100% height. 100%. Next slide. Okay. 𝐿𝑊. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So this is my site there. If you guys saw it before. So this is a simple web page that I have built just right now using ChatGPT, and yeah, so I'm going to change it to it's taking too much time. So then I'm going to host this down in 𝘫Pages, so you guys can take a look about it using the 𝘫Pages domain. Okay, so this is my site there. It's completely available online. Also, I'll provide complete site deck as a PDF as well. Okay, so I'm going to save this file. I'm going back to the terminal and check about my GitHub status. Branch main now connected. There is one change in index.html. Okay, so git all. Okay, and then git commit -name basic file. Okay, so I just committed my all changes, and then I'm going to push. Let's see how it works. So you guys can know more about the GitHub and all the version controlling things in upcoming session, which is gonna to my fellow colleagues. Okay, let's move on to the GitHub again. Okay. Yeah, and what you guys can see. Okay. Okay, sorry, I'm going to refresh this repository. You guys can see there is one index.html file. So then I'm going to redirect to the GitHub pages right here in settings for. So there are a few tabs. So in here you guys can see the code. So in here you guys can see the issues, and this is for pull request, and this is for GitHub actions. And in here you guys can manage your complete projects to GitHub projects as well. So you guys can link your projects, and this is for Wikipedia and GitHub. So you can create a complete wiki about your project in right here using create these pages. This is for security related purposes, and this is insights about your commits and those things. Okay, so in here in settings tab, you guys can see there is a menu called pages. Menu item called pages. So in here you guys can select deploy from branch and select a branch as well. So then you guys can save. Okay. So GitHub pages source save. Sorry. Okay, in that way also work, and also I'm going to use the GitHub actions, and I'm going to configure using the static HTML. Okay, so it is going to create a complete CI/CD pipeline code like this. So it is very unique, and I'm going to commit this change like this, and it is going to create a separate directory called .github/workflows. In this workflow folder, you guys can see the static YML file, which is the CI/CD pipeline. Okay, then we can go to the actions and check whether our web page is built and deployed completely. Also, you guys can see this process separately, like set up jobs and those things and how it works. So this is the checkout part, and this is the setup pages part, and this is the where they are going to upload artifacts. And now our web page is deployed to GitHub pages, and this is the post checkout part, and this is the completion part. So in this URL, you guys can see that the web page that I have built previously is completely online throughout GitHub pages. So in this way, you guys can easily host your static web pages through GitHub. Yeah, so that's all. Wait a minute. Yeah, okay, so that's all about the web hosting and monetization. So yeah, over to you, Mitara.
Thank you, Mr. Ashen. We are excited to announce our upcoming sessions in the WebWrap 1.0 series. On the 30th June, we have a session on version controlling with GitHub, where you will learn about version control fundamentals of Git, what is GitHub, how to elevate your coding project using GitHub. These sessions will build on today's fundamentals and take your development skills to the next level. We hope to see you there. Before we end, we want to thank Mr. 𝗔𝘀𝗵𝗲 for sharing his knowledge with us. This session really helped to understand web hosting related technologies better, and we are honored to have you as our speaker. To show our thanks, we present to you this token of appreciation for your great contribution to WebWrap 1.0. Thank you for inspiring us all.
Yeah. Also, thank you for giving me this opportunity as well. Yeah, sure. Go on, Mitara.
As we bring this session to a close, we'd like to capture a virtual moment with all of you. So if you're comfortable, please turn on your cameras. Let's create a collective snapshot of our engaging time together. Additionally, we have provided a backdrop in the delegates WhatsApp group. Please set it as your background for the photo. It would be better if all of you can turn on your cameras and be a part of this.
Okay, guys, come on, turn in your cameras.
All right, guys, smile. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, have a nice day, guys.
I would like to thank all the participants who were present here with us today. Your involvement and presence have made this session truly special. We look forward to seeing you at the next session of WebWrap 1.0. Until then, take care. Good night.
ඔයාලට දැන් හරි කවන්නේ questions තියෙනවා නම් අහන්න. සිංහලෙන් යවුවත් කවන්නේ නැහැ. Okay, guys, is it okay if I leave? Hello.
Ashin, thank you. Thank you for the session.